Obviously, every year it's hard to say goodbye, but is this year's group of seniors specifically difficult to say goodbye to, especially how they've performed in winningest senior class in history?
I think we were talking about this a little bit last night. I think the so much of what has to do with how special these guys are has zero to do with wins and losses, has zero to do with football, and everything to do with who they are and the relationships that are sort of kind of distilled when it comes to football. But just a bunch of great guys. And a bunch of guys that we've all known their entire careers. Everybody that's kind of going through here, we've recruited, and we know everything about them, and they know, it's been a great run. And then, oh, by the way, football, the wins and a couple losses in there, but just a great bunch of guys.
Mark, Hronis was saying last night that this started after the Alamo Bowl. Any success you've had this year, that he got together with some other players after the Alamo Bowl and they kind of focused. Did you sense some changes during the offseason? This was a really focused group. Is that kind of paying benefits now?
I think so. I mean, it was we tweaked some things every offseason and made some changes of trying to be a bigger, faster, stronger group, more functional group, particularly in his group on the offensive line. Some changes in our offseason program, and then just the mindset of controlling everything you can control. And that's something that everybody talks about, and they learned it the hard way last year of thinking about somebody else's, result and this and the other, and not, maybe losing sight of a couple things that they controlled, and to their credit, have competed like heck in that vein.
Missed tackling was such a topic early in the season. It seemed like you would express some frustration that you wanted to get better and better. How has it been in the last 2-3 weeks or this last game? It seems like, obviously, the way the points you're allowing would seem like there have been fewer, but I wasn't sure what the tape shows. It's been better. I mean, there were certainly a few things yesterday where it was more of misfits than missed tackles. We had a couple creases there. They got us in a couple unbalanced looks. One time, I think we thought it was unbalanced and were misaligned to it, and just simple communication things. We had lost leverage the one time. The guy had the long run in the third quarter, kind of on the press box sideline there. Just lost leverage, and those things can bite you. Missed tackles obviously can bite you. We've been better, but winning covers up a lot of those things.
Going back to the offensive line, you did get a guy back, and Andre. How do you feel like he did? And then also the tight ends, you said you had to go back and look at film for them.
Okay. I think in reverse order there, the tight ends played okay. It was great to see Evan Bayless find the end zone and in a meaningful game for him, and a guy that's worked really hard and just needs, I think, that little boost of confidence. We have a ton of belief in his ability, and just some guys need to visualize it and they can do it. Some guys need to visualize it and then practice it and then do it and then believe they can. It's just you never kind of know that mix of what it's going to take for each guy. And then Johnny Munt and Koakai both played in limited roles and did fairly well. What was the other part? Andre, yeah. Andre was rusty. I know he would say that himself. He did some really good things, and he did some things that he looked like he was back out there for the first time in a while. Some of it, again, is just trusting that everything's functioning well. Some of it was identifying things, but definitely a guy that's he'll be 100 times better next week. Just just knocking off that rust and reassuring himself that, hey, this is going to be okay.
Yeah, Mark, I know you're going to talk about it a lot this week, but, you grew up with this Civil War and everything, and you've been a part of it for a long time, and it is just another game on the schedule. Does it mean a little bit more to you personally, maybe?
Well, in my current job, I can't get personal, in terms of that part of it. But yeah, I absolutely grew up in a split community, you would say, of in Coos Bay. There's allegiances on both sides and friends and family on both sides, and so that the back and forth banter that lasted throughout the year, I know what that means. I know what it means to live in Bend, Oregon, and have the con for the rest of the year.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Mark, how do you manage the schedule coming off an emotional win, and then you have the Civil War and then a holiday mixed in? Kind of how do you manage the week?
Yeah, it's been, again, kind of a year-long process of how we've tried to plan things out, and so far so good. This week is a quote-unquote normal week, with the exception of the holiday in terms of how we're going to work, and we're going to get done. We're going to move our meetings up until the early afternoon that we'd normally do on Thursday night, and then get our players and our coaches and our staff a chance to have as normal of Thanksgiving as possible. We'll make sure all of our players have a place to go. We'll have a lot of families in town, not only for the game but for Thanksgiving. And then our banquet is on Sunday, and so we'll have that all ramrodded into a 72-hour period.
The screen passes are, again, something that you felt like in post-game sessions here and there that kind of hurt you guys a little bit. Mm-hmm. Is there a pattern to what teams are seeing from your defense, or you feel like you guys are getting better?
Yes and no. I mean, screens are kind of like, double moves. They're a shot, and it's either a big gain or the ball's dirted at the running back's legs, or it's, you're tackled for no gain. It's very rarely a 6-yard gain. It's usually a boom or bust type of situation. They had, a couple booms and a couple busts. But as far as what we were supposed to do on the play, we had one time where a guy, his eyes were just wrong, and he could have rallied to the ball a little bit faster or a little bit sooner and mitigated some of the yardage. But, that's one of those things where if you're going to rush the passer, if you're going to be a great pass rushing team, you're going to give up some screen game. And, you have to balance those kind of wins and losses.
Warren, Mark, 42 rush attempts, I think, and 32 pass attempts last night. Is that kind of in the ballpark, or is the 40 rush attempts kind of where you want to be? I know it's all situational.
Yeah, it is all situational. I mean, we go into a game and we have a plan, I think, very generally of what we want to do, and is certainly of how we're going to start the game is basically 50-50, basically. But then from there, it's how are they playing us? What are we seeing? Is it this or that? Seeing how we're holding up in protection or how we're blocking. There's so many factors that go into it as to how the game plays out. Obviously, time and score is going to affect some of that as well. But our mix was good, our execution was okay, and so that's a good problem considering the outcome.
Is there, on either one of those, is there room for improvement? I guess there's always room for improvement, but is there maybe in the rushing game, would you like to see more improvement there? Or?
A ton. I mean, it's funny. Sometimes we block two people and Royce makes one guy miss, breaks a tackle, and it's a 9-yard gain, and that's a great run play. It's and there are so many things. Or Marcus pulls the ball and they misfit it and he runs for a touchdown. So there's a lot of things that on both sides of the coin of the run game and the pass game that missed a couple protections at guard, had a couple physical breakdowns, had a couple mental, just all those. There's a million things in a game like that the quarterback might just reset and make a throw, and two guys need to have better technique, or whatever it is. And the key to it, though, is having a group of guys that comes in today and tomorrow and looks at it and goes, man, yes, that I need to improve that. Boom, boom, boom. We need to fix that and move on.
What was Tyner's status on Saturday, and moving forward, if he's unavailable, what do you guys do at running back behind Royce?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is literally day to day, and. We're going to do kind of what we did in this game of a mix and match of between Kenny Bassett, Royce, Byron. There's some other guys that Charles has done some things in the backfield. So some guys that are multi-purpose guys.
Did you get a chance to rewatch Charlie Pape's The Piece last night? And what did you think of that? And I think we all broke Twitter and with how quickly he became this sensation. But did you get a chance to watch that?
I haven't had a chance to watch it. I try not to look at myself. It's not good for the viewer. It's not good for anyone. No, but that was hilarious. Were there 4 things or 3 things? I think math is the 4th. I think maybe we have to. No, I don't know.